In today's video, we are going to do a fun one. We are going to be talking about the funny side of being blind. Let's make light of my darkness. See what I did there? See?
Bruh.
Hi everyone, my name is Josh Tseng. Welcome back to my channel where I talk about what it's like to live with blindness and crack stupid jokes. I swear, I'm only 25, but my sense of humor is such bad humor. My girlfriend calls me an old man. Back in my day, children still had respect. So yes, today I'm gonna be telling you some of the funniest stories from my life experiences as someone who is blind. Because let's be honest, sometimes when you are blind, some really funny things happen to you. And you know, I think it is really important to be able to laugh about these things because if we want to celebrate people with disabilities, if we want them to feel included in society, the best way to do that is through laughter. So hopefully some of these stories in this video can make you laugh. So of course, when it comes to being blind, a lot of the funniest situations come about through our accidents. Now, obviously, I haven't had any that were fatal. I'm still here. Or am I? No, I'm not a ghost. I'm still here. It's way too early for Halloween. But yes, a lot of our funniest moments come from our accidents and mishaps that happen to us. And one of the most common things that happen to people who are blind is we walk into things or we bump into things. And I have a bit of a funny story from one of these incidents. So when I was studying at university, my university is actually filled with a lot of oddly placed pillars. I don't know why. We literally have pillars in the middle of our hallways in the faculty buildings. And so when all of the students are coming up from class, well, pre-COVID, the hallways would just be filled with all the students trying to maneuver around the tables and benches and chairs and those pillars that are always in the middle of the hallway. So yes, my university is somewhat infamous for having oddly placed pillars. Don't know why. So anyway, there was one such pillar at the end of a ramp, and I was actually walking towards that ramp, and mind you, I know that this pillar exists, but I was walking towards the ramp and I stopped a couple of meters in front of this pillar because a girl was asking me,
Hey, do you need any help?
not gonna lie, her voice was quite cute, and so yes, even though we're blind, we do make judgments about people's attractiveness, just maybe not the visual ones, obviously. And this girl is quite cute. And so, me wanting to be macho, I told her,
Don't worry, I'm okay. I don't need that help. I'm good.
and she wished me well. She said,
Okay, take care.
she turned around, she walked away, so did I, and immediately walked into the pillar. So yes, very manly indeed, Josh. Very proud of you. So I'm going to interrupt this program with a little request, which is, if you are enjoying this video so far, don't forget to tickle the like button, hit subscribe, smash that notification bell so you can stay informed about my future uploads where I talk about what it's like to live with blindness. And on top of that, I do have a small request for those of you who can help out. Now, I'll be perfectly honest. Running this channel is pretty expensive. On average, it takes me between $70 to $300 per video to get this content out to you all. I'm not complaining, I chose to do this for myself, but it would greatly help if you could contribute what you can to my Patreon. Now, don't feel obligated to do so. No one of you viewers are required to do this, but if you can find my Patreon at patreon.com/Josh Tseng. That's JOSHTSENG. You can donate to different tiers and support this channel where I talk about what it's like to live with blindness. So again, that's patreon.com/JOSHTSENG. Thanks. And so my next story about, funny moments from being blind involves another girl, but this time I'm not the victim and unfortunately she was the victim of my accident. This was back in Polytechnic now, so this was before I enrolled in university. I was studying in what's called a Polytechnic. It's an institution that awards a diploma instead of a degree, and yeah, that's where I got my diploma in marketing. Anyway, that's not relevant to the story. What's relevant to the story is that the building that I study in, it's the School of Business, well, that was where I studied, has this really long hallway, and on one side, it's just the railing that prevents you from, walking off the building. Kind of important. And on the other side, you have your lecture theaters, your tables, your benches, and so on. And so it's this just long hallway that goes about for a minute if you walk in a straight line. And so I was walking one day, in the clear part of the hallway when my cane got stuck in something. And I was thinking to myself, I am almost 100% confident that I did not walk into a bench. This does not feel like a bench, it's not metallic. So what is my cane stuck in, right? So I wiggled it around, tried to get it loose, and eventually I did this little maneuver where I raised the cane and yanked it out. And so I managed to get my cane free of the grasp of this evil object that was holding it hostage, and I just took my cane out, walked around whatever it was, and went on my merry way. A few seconds later, one of my classmates ran up to me and he was like hysterical. He was laughing and he was going,
Oh my god, Josh, what did you just do?
and I was like, what did I just do? I don't know. And so he told me what my cane had apparently gotten stuck in was in between a girl's legs. And when I had done this maneuver where I lifted it up, I had actually smacked her right in between the legs.
Oh my god.
Not my proudest moment. But this girl, for whatever reason, just did not make any noise, did not say anything. Apparently, if I were to guess, she was probably in a state of shock because she just got whacked in the crotch by a long metallic object by some stranger. Oh my god. And I was completely mortified. I basically told my friend, oh my god, where is this girl? I need to go and say sorry to her, but apparently she had left. And so I did not get to apologize to this mysterious girl who I accidentally whacked between the legs. And so if you are seeing this, what is it? 6 years later? If you are the girl and you are watching my video and you recognize me, that awful person who whacked you, I'm sorry. I really am. But you have to admit, it was pretty funny.
Bruh.
Even if I wasn't the direct victim of my own stupidity. And you know, before we go, I have one more story that I wanted to share. It's a little bit, let's just say I don't really know how I feel about this particular story, but I'll tell you anyway. The sensational part of the story would be, you know, how I got my cane so bent that it basically became a smiley face. Yes, if you don't know, mobility canes or white canes for the blind are these like 5-foot sticks, usually made out of aluminium. They are pretty strong. And so, you know, what on earth could I have done to get it bent literally so out of shape? Well, let me tell you. So one fine day, I was at the bus interchange with one of my friends, and you know, he was guiding me around. Basically, we were going for lunch or dinner or something, I don't know. But we were at the bus interchange, and basically, he spotted this old man who was carrying his grandchild, or what we presume is his grandchild, on his shoulders. You know, pretty normal stuff. But my friend, after observing this man, commented, you know,
Is he vision impaired?
so he was telling me about this guy with his child on his shoulders and why he guessed that this person was probably so old that they couldn't see properly because they were not walking in a straight line. This old man was like wavering back and forth, and basically it didn't seem like he could walk in a straight line despite the fact that he had his grandchild on his shoulders. And my friend was basically saying,
Oh my god, this looks so precarious. This is an accident waiting to happen.
and then an accident really did happen. An accident involving me. Because as we were trying to navigate around this packed, crowded bus interchange, the old man somehow started walking towards me. And before my friend could pull me out of the way, the old man walked onto my cane. So he did that, he tripped, he landed on my cane. Full body weight of an elderly man just onto my cane. And meanwhile, remember, he was carrying his grandchild or some child on his shoulders. That child did not stay up high, let's just put it this way. That child fell down, hit the concrete with a resounding wham, and immediately burst into tears. I felt incredibly awful. I cannot begin to describe that feeling of, oh my god, what just happened? So there's this kid laying on the ground, presumably injured, I don't know to what degree, bawling their eyes out, screaming and yelling. You have this old man who landed on my cane and slid to the floor, and now you have my friend who was very angry that this situation had occurred. And so before he could start yelling at this old man and tearing him a new one for being so careless, well, I guess, he made a good judgment call, because instead of losing his temper, he dragged me away and was just cursing up a storm, going,
Oh my god, this guy is such an idiot. How on earth did he do that? Da, 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 da.
but at least he wasn't yelling at the old man. Now, I don't know the fate of the old man and his child. I of course hope that they are okay. I do not wish for them to be injured. But at the same time, let this be an important PSA that I don't know why I need to be the one telling you this, but if you cannot see properly, do not carry a child or another human being on your shoulders in a crowded area. And if you want to be perfectly safe, even if you can see, just don't do any such thing. Now, obviously I was not injured, my friend was not injured. I don't know what happened to the old man and the child, like I said, but what I do know for a fact was heavily injured was my cane. Now, at that time, I only had one cane, and so it was practically a miracle that this thing did not snap in half. But what did happen was it was bent to the point that it looked like a smiley face or a Nike swoosh. And me, being the big galaxy brain 200 IQ Chad that I am, decided to use that cane for another 6 to 8 months. Because I was too lazy to get a new cane, so I used the bent one. And it technically worked. There was nothing necessarily wrong with it, except for how it looked and the fact that it wasn't straight, and so it would do funny things like, spin around occasionally and do all sorts of weird things. But in terms of its function, which is to touch the floor and let me know of obstacles ahead of me, it technically did its job. But for a number of months, for the better part of half a year, I lived in fear of this cane getting caught in something else and getting snapped in half. But again, I was too lazy to get a new cane. I think it took my orientation and mobility instructor basically scolding me, her saying like,
Josh, this is not acceptable, go and get a new cane.
and that's when I did. But yes, that is the story of how an old man fell on my cane and bent it to the point that it looked like a smiley face. So yes, these are just some of the funnier stories about my life being blind, at least some of the ones that I can remember right now. This video wasn't scripted. I basically told these stories off the cuff, so hopefully they were enjoyable. And if you enjoyed the video, click on the like button, hit subscribe, smash that notification bell so you can stay informed about my future uploads where I talk about what it's like to live with blindness. Hopefully this was a fun one, and like I said, helps normalize the way we approach people with disabilities, because when we can start laughing at our situations, and not just us, but when everyone else can start laughing along with us at our situations, I think personally that's how we can build a more inclusive society that is more accepting and understanding of people with disabilities. Let me know if you agree. And so that's it for me today. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!